Good morning, everyone. I thought today I'd show you guys how to do Arachna. I know Arachna is not a very popular boss. If anything, it's one of the least popular, but just because nobody likes having poison flying at them from all directions. But if you're a spellweaver who uses an ice-based build, you actually have a very good advantage here on this particular map. I mean this in the elemental advantage sense. So, starting off in Hagestov Grotto, one of the things you'll notice when you enter this map is that there's a whole bunch of question marks here. Now, if this is your first time on this map, or actually your first, I want to say 5 trips or so, you will not be able to finish like the final boss on this map. She's there, but you can't kill her because there's a mega-sized patch of poison at the very end. Now, the biggest difficulty you'll find on this map is actually being able to see your monsters, because everything is really dark and all the monsters are small and they kind of blend right in to the ground itself. So I actually like using taunt here just because that little white mark that it puts in their head makes it a heck of a lot easier to see what the heck is going on. Another tip is, if you're really struggling with this particular parallel world, find yourself a ranger, make a friend, ask them to set their group passives to, I don't have a ranger, but basically their group aura, set them to poison resistance. And that's because there's a lot of poison champions, bosses, leaders, etc. here on this particular map. So that will be a massive advantage for you if you need it. As you may have noticed, I've been doing Infernal 1 for probably most of my videos now, and now I switched over to Infernal 2, and that's just because my character has developed to the point where if I start doing Infernal 1 in videos, you guys are not going to have too much to see, so I may as well switch up the difficulty. Okay, so you need to collect cave mushrooms. Now, for me, I usually find that you do manage to collect 5 somewhere along the way, but occasionally you just have to keep an eye out. You will not get 5 through shortcut your way across the map the same way I do. So a lot of people always wonder why the heck it is that I go up the right side of the map as opposed to the left side, as you may have noticed. The right side actually has that random spot where you can grab either a treasure chest or maybe a buff. So I always like checking that spot. That side, my group members decide to go up the left side. I won't complain, because usually I'm not here for farming a portal or the buff or anything on this map. Okay, so there's a nice little jump point right here. Just aim your cursor over there. And as I said, there will be a lot of champion monsters. And when you're dealing with the poison guys, try not to stand right in front of them. Try not to stand right in their poison puddles. Resistances are quite important on this map unless you're very, very good at dodging everything that comes your way. The only thing I don't like is how the poison just blends right into the ground itself, which is also kind of the same color, brown and green, so, the only way sometimes you notice that you're dying is because, well, you're dying. Alright, and that finishes all the mushrooms, which gives me one last question mark. And as you're approaching the stone circle over here, there will always be a champion on the inside, so just so you know, because sometimes it is the poison champion, and that poison champion will spit poison at you, so you don't want to be right in the line of fire then. Okay, so just a word here, since I came all the way over here. This poison stuff, if you have not clicked on that cauldron, or you don't have the quest to click on the cauldron yet, don't go walking in it. You will take tons of damage, and there's no way you can get in to see the boss on time unless you have like a super overpowered character already. Because I know for a matter of fact that Tyr has actually walked in, and he plays a one-handed DK, so he's fine, right? He survived, just took a lot of damage. Alright, so here's my champion. Not a poison spitter this time. don't like about this is that with all the things blocking me, I can't see. So I usually just jump in so I can actually see what's going on here. Okay, here we go. So now you click on the cauldron, you get your antidote, and that's just a 30-minute buff that will take you through. And I hope it doesn't take you 30 minutes to kill the boss. So it should be fine. So now you see when I go in, now I get this immune pop-up instead of earlier where I was getting poisoned. Now this boss champion, I guess we should call it leader nowadays, it'll always drop a meteor. So if you are running well ahead of your party, you know, please try to be a little more considerate. Wait for your party members to go in together, because if you don't, then, well, you trigger the meteor and then everybody else gets hit by the meteor that was meant for you, which is not nice. The other thing is, of course, the witch tends to get enraged, so now you gotta wait it out. Alright, here we go. So like I said, I have an elemental advantage on this map, so that's why it's sometimes kind of difficult to show you guys anything. So map 2 you're going to find is kind of an annoying map. Again, due to the sheer amount of poison that there is. Now, for map 2, you have a leader who changes positions. I think there's 2 different positions, 3 different positions, whatever. I use quest guidance to find it. So there it is on the map, it tells you where to go. And as you're going through this map, you're going to find a lot of these spider eggs. You do not need to walk close to them, because if you walk close to them, you'll set them off. You also don't need to kill the little spiders unless they get in your way, so that's why you try not to walk close to them, you try not to hit them, because you hit them or you walk too close, as you can see here, I just wake them all up. And now you gotta deal with them. In case you're wondering why I don't want to use my Guardian with Taunt, the reason being that this is Infernal 2. I think with Guardian's limit of really tanking effectively probably goes as far as Infernal 1. So it's not going to be an effective tank here. Of course, when you're going through this with a group, chances are it's pretty much inevitable that somebody's going to walk too close and wake up those spiders. So be it. I'm pretty much over the wall, away from the leader. So if you wanted to, you can jump over. Just be aware that sometimes it's not just the leader down there. Sometimes there's another champion or two. So if you want to do it, you can, but just make sure you actually can survive all the incoming damage that's headed your way, or else have an exit strategy. So you can just teleport over the wall. There we go. Like I said, there's two of them. There's my leader, which is Carcass the Mad, and there's a random tree. Alright, now the door to Arachna herself has opened. You technically don't have to kill everything between here and Arachna's door. If you don't want to, you can just make a run for it. Okay, I already maxed out my points, so yep, gonna make a run for it. The only problem with running is that, of course, everything slows you down. You got poison, you got trees who throw that black crap all over you. Now, going into Arachna herself. Having 2 taunts, especially if you're not able to handle Arachna's damage, is super handy. I don't think Destruction is a particularly good skill to use on this map. Neither is Frostwind for that matter. I'm going to switch that over. Now, if you're not good at avoiding meteors or avoiding damage in general, you will need one of these stun breaks, basically. And the reason being that poison is always a damage over time kind of effect that's applied to your character. If you're able to reduce the amount of damage, either through Frost Nova or Teleport or whatever is the class equivalent for you, then that's great. Okay, and then just switch over so I have that. Now, on this map and this map alone, it's actually quite useful if you have Lifetime Thief, and that's because Arachna summons tons and tons of little spiders, so you can just get rid of those with that and gain some cooldown. Okay, so what to expect from Arachna? Poison, and lots of it. So it's a lot easier, I think, in this case, just to go in and show you. So Arachna always wakes up by falling down from the sky. Well, I don't know what you call it. But anyways, first move is always going to be laying some eggs, so you can interrupt her if you want to. Second move after that is always going to be a meteor, so you can see her bum always goes up when the meteor comes out. And looks like she's got the full complement of skills, which works just fine. So you saw everything there. You saw the net, and you saw the poison spit, and you can see how her little spider eggs hatch out. Okay. So a lot of people are going to wonder, how can I predict when is she going to do which move? Alright? And that spider web does stun, so it's important to avoid that. So the answer is to look at Arachna's bum. When her bum points up, it means that a meteor is going to fall. So you have to be close enough to see Arachna. If you're standing at the opposite end of the screen, you see nothing. And those meteors fall really fast, so you're not going to be able to dodge it on time, chances are. Okay, and then when she leans forward, or well, leans back and then leans forward, it's going to either be the spider web or the poison spit. So I think I've shown you guys everything now, and you might notice that there's actually two different spider types, and that's because there's ones where she lays like a blob on the ground that hatches if you hit it, and then there's ones where it's just a patch of eggs where it will guaranteed to hatch. So she actually has two different spider types. Now they're not very tanky, but as you can watch here, I can use them to mind control and just temporarily tank maybe one or two hits from her before I put out my guardian. Now, word of advice, okay, if you have someone or something tanking for you, for goodness sakes, please do not stand behind them. And the reason for that is the poison spit will pass through whoever or whatever is tanking, which means it will hit you. And the spider web is actually quite slow and predictable, so if you're standing right behind them and whoever or whatever it is dodges or dies, oh, sorry, you're next in line. So do yourself a favor, don't stand behind whoever or whatever is tanking here at Arachna, because you will regret it. So either stand off like 90 degrees to the side, or else 180 on the back side. Now, as you may have noticed, also quite handy if you have some attack speed, or run speed here. Well, attack speed is useful too, but run speed here, and that's just because there will be a lot of poison puddles and you need to basically maneuver your way out of it. So that does mean that the more people you have on this teeny tiny map, the harder it will be. Alright, especially if your team is not prepared to deal with it. So occasionally I have just left people on the ground if they keep on dying on me. I'm like, oh, I'll revive you when I'm done. I'm not going to revive you now because you're going to make my life more difficult. Okay, there goes Arachna. There goes her last of her spiders. And you'll see all these poison puddles on the ground that I've been avoiding the whole time. They deal quite a lot of damage if you stand in them, so try not to stand in them. You're not doing yourself any favors. So if you're wondering why I'm actually farming Arachna, there is nothing particularly great about her except that she drops poison cores, which if you're using the set from Medusa, you'll need it for the boots. That's about it. That's the main reason why I farm Arachna besides leader points. So that's all there is. Best of luck.